Hey, this your girl, msyelladiva. I am bringing you another episode of the Real Housewives. Oh, the last episode. I'm sorry. The last episode of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 19, the reunion part 3. Okay. If you are new here, welcome. Welcome. We do reviews here. This is the Diva Nation, okay? And if you're returning, welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. Give me a thumbs up. Like and share and comment and subscribe to my channel, and we will begin, y'all. Okay. So the episode begins where Brittany ran off the stage because Meredith called her a bigot. Basically, she done called her a bigot because apparently she wrote a review for a guy who was a bigot. And so, Meredith called her a bigot too. Okay. Anyway, so she going off the stage. Meredith saying she a victim. Brittany was like, "No, I'm not a victim. I am not a victim." I know that's right, baby. You tell her. And so Andy was like, "Well, she took the post down," and she said Meredith was like, "She took the post down after social media blasted her and everything like that. She didn't just take it down just because she's not a bigot." I was like, "Oh, Meredith." And so Andy was like, "Well, we don't know what her intentions were when she gave this guy a review, because he said, I'm a friend of Meredith. Can I do your nails for free?" So he did her nails for free. And then he said, "Can you write a review?" I don't think she had any knowledge of him being a bigot. I don't even know he a bigot. I don't even know. He has some anti-Jewish rhetoric somewhere. So I don't believe Brittany, knew that he was, had those anti-Jewish remarks. So I don't know. But then, and Brown said the same thing. Maybe she didn't know. And so Meredith was like, "Well, she's never been nice to me." And he was like, "Well, no offense, but maybe she just don't like you." That's right, Andy. I know that's right. Maybe she just don't like you. What the problem is? What the problem is? Maybe she just don't like you. Where's my stuff? There we go. Yeah. So Brittany in the back crying like, somebody killed her dog or something. I mean, she's like, "Ooh, ooh." I was like, "Ooh, okay." She back there crying like somebody killed her dog. And so then Andy on the stage talking about, "Well, what did you think about when you and Mary talked about the plane event?" He said, "Because people are taking Mary's side that you actually did some craziness on the plane." So Mary was like, "Yeah, do you remember the things I said to you before we got on the plane? Remember the talk that we had?" And Mary was like, You were angry. So Brittany come out after she done finished crying and stuff. She come out, interrupts Mary and Mary and Meredith, interrupt that conversation. She was like, Meredith, no excuse me, no nothing. Meredith. So everybody was, we are, Meredith looking confused, like, I know she saw us talking. And so Brittany was like, "I want to apologize to you." So Mary was like, "Oh God," and then Meredith was like, "Oh God," but she told Meredith to shut up. She gonna apologize, but she gonna tell Meredith to shut up. when she said, "Oh God," she didn't tell Mary to shut up. She told Meredith to shut up. I said, "How you gonna apologize and tell her to shut up at the same time?" But she told Meredith to shut up, and she profusely apologized. But I don't know what you apologizing for, because if you're not a bigot and you had no ill intentions on, that post, I don't even know what you're apologizing for. Maybe because she took it the wrong way. I apologize for you taking it the wrong way, but I'm not a bigot. And you can't tell me that I am. Moving on, shit. But anyway, so Whitney was like, okay, so can we go back to Mary and Meredith's conversation? She's like, because I like that conversation. I don't know what the hell we got going on over here. I like that conversation over here. Can we go back to that one? So Mary said, Meredith, you vented to me and you vented to Lisa, and so Mary was like, please don't say you didn't do it. And so Mary was like, I didn't say I didn't do it. I said I vented to Lisa. Heather and Whitney was like, yeah, you just saying that same story. You sticking to this story over and over again. Meredith, Andy asked Meredith, did she have a drink before getting on the plane, or drinks? She said she had a drink. But okay, so Lisa ain't saying that right. So Lisa wants the conversation. She wants her friend to get off the hot seat, and she wants the conversation to come to her again. So this is what she said. Andy, I was upset on the boat, and I felt very alone. Yeah, because your bestie wasn't trying to defend you at all. On the boat, when Heather told her that she was the source of all of the social media posts, yeah. When she told her that, and then she started crying, and she ran off, and Brittany tried to find her, and Heather tried to find her, but Meredith did not try to find her, okay? And so, but yeah, so her bestie didn't come try to find her. I just wanted to go home, and so she started faking crying like she usually do, okay? She started fake crying like she usually do. Lisa was like, I was falsely accused. And Heather was like, you weren't falsely accused. I felt it was true. Okay, now, Heather. Because you thought it was true, then she may be falsely accused, okay? She may be false. Listen, I'm just saying, if you thought she was, you thought it was true, then she may be falsely accused, because you really didn't prove it. So Lisa was like, I don't want to be your friend if you believe that. Okay. So Heather and Lisa go back and forth, just they're talking over each other, I don't care what they saying, because they talking over each other, and she's saying one thing, she's saying another thing. Whatever. So then Mary chimes in, and she said, Lisa, you can't cry about the things that you did do in the past. So Lisa yells at Mary. I was like, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We're not doing that.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
She yelled at Mary, saying, and pointing at Mary too, I'm not going to take accountability for shit. that I didn't do at this point. She pointed at Mary with her finger. Meredith clutching her pearls like, what the fuck? Nook if you buck, okay? Nook if you buck, okay? All right? Because Mary know how to fight. Mary was a wild child before she got she got in that little preacher hood, okay? Mary know how to fight. Nook if you buck, Lisa. Mary was like, relax, it's not that serious. You can't be mad at something you did in the past. I know, right? Boom, okay? So this what we need to tell her. Hold on. We need to tell her this right here.
Shut up, bitch.
Yep, that's what we need to tell her. So, Heather's like, I love you, but I'm not going to back down on this. Okay. Andy said, moving on. Meredith, you handed everybody a drug test, but you ain't take the drug test yourself. Meredith was like, I will be happy to take the blood test because this hurts my business. Whitney apologizes for calling her a pill popper. And he said, is there anything you want to own up to that you did on the plane? Meredith was like, I vented to Lisa. It was inappropriate. I didn't mean to hurt Brittany's feelings. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You meant to hurt her feelings. You meant for her to be so distraught after that plane ride. Just own up to it, Meredith, that you yelled at her, you antagonized her, and all that other stuff. Just own up to it. Brittany said, thanks, Mary, for being there for her. And Andy was like, Andy was like, well, listen, I'm going to tell you what. If you would have said that to me, it would have been an air marshal call. She said, if you would have said that shit to me, okay? Because we'd have knocked this the buck, okay? Angie was like, if you would have did that to me, okay? You did that to me. But she said that, Brittany, she said when she got off that plane, she was worse off than she was when she walked off that stage. So she was crying profusely when she walked off that plane. So she was even worse at that time. Damn. So yeah. So I don't know what happened on that plane, but if she was worse off than she was when she walked off that plane, walked off that stage, Meredith. Anyway, they do the Whitney montage. Whitney got her business back. And Justin is not in it. Okay. And they are working on their marriage, basically. Andy said, Meredith, on whatever his name show, Bork's show, the Next Gen or something like that. Seth said that he wouldn't mind being a pansexual.
Emotional damage. What the hell? Oh my
God. He went by being a pansexual. Meredith was like, well, if that's what he wants, please let me know. He did. He told you that he wanted to be a pansexual, and he told national TV that he wanted to be a pansexual. The fuck? Duh. He wanted to be a pansexual. Okay. He told everybody else too. All right, so Heather is still happy being an empty nester. Olivia, Brittany's daughter, wasn't happy when she brought Jared to BravoCon. Anyway, but Brittany celebrated Christmas with both of her daughters, so that's good. Let me give you this. All right. The viewer question said, John, to Lisa, John likes to embarrass you just like Todd does Bronwyn. And I said, damn. Damn. That's fucked up, okay? Damn. So, Andy was like, damn, you caught a stray. Bronwyn. So Lisa, okay, she starts crying again. Mary over there asleep. But she started crying again. I ain't never seen a Sagittarius cry as much as she do. Okay, I think half of them cries is fake, but we're going to leave that alone. She feels completely undervalued. Yeah, most moms do. Okay, moving on. How does everything get done if I don't do it? Yeah, most moms do that too. Okay. You not by yourself with none of this shit. Okay, none of this shit. The problem is that John think you don't listen to him. Okay, that's what it is. That's what it is. You don't listen to him. Okay, so Andy said the viewers think you have a problem taking accountability and listening. You know, and John was saying that. Mary was like, the viewers were right. John said you don't listen to him because you don't. You don't listen to him and you don't take accountability. That's the problem. You know, the problem is not that you do everything. Because most moms do. Okay? Okay, she was like, how does so-and-so get the care package? All moms do that. You ain't no different than no other mom. The problem is that John said you don't listen to him. Okay? That's the problem with you, Lisa. Okay? So, then here she go. He know I've been trying to listen to him. You know, we've been together for a long time. We business partners, we parents, we best friends, we're in love. I don't think neither one of y'all in love no more. I don't think neither one of y'all are in love no more. Okay. All right, sell that shit to somebody else. Okay. But she said, but I'm upset because he made me look bad on TV and I would never make him look bad on TV. And so, okay. She said, he broke my heart. And now I see that she for real crying. So I'm going to give her this cry. Because I really think that John embarrassed her. Okay, I don't think he may have broke her heart too, just because he did do this on TV. But I think she was embarrassed more so than anything else. Okay, but I think on John's point, I think if he had not said that on TV, you would have not heard him. Okay, because behind closed doors, you could be like, yeah, whatever. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. But when he took you to the cameras, you can't talk shit like you do out off camera. So I think John probably took you on camera so you couldn't be like, I'm not doing that. I ain't listening to that. Fuck you. However you want to talk to him. I don't know. But I think I think he did that on camera so you can actually listen to him. And then he did that on camera because it's a lot of viewer comments to say that, Yeah, you don't listen to them. Okay, so but you was embarrassed, and I think that's the reason why you were more so upset, because you was embarrassed more so than he broke your heart. But that's my opinion on that. And he said it felt real. And so Mary said, if your husband say you are not a good listener, then you are not. Lisa like, no, no, Mary, that's not it. That's not it. And Mary was like, well, I'm trying to help you. No, that's not it. And I don't need your help. And then Heather was like, but your friend is trying to help you. You know, then Angie was like, "We are on a reality show. We gotta show our reality in our real life." Then Lisa was like, "It's falling on deaf ears because you don't want to show your real life, ma'am, Lisa. You don't want to show your real life. You want to show a made up life, like Ben and Blake." And Ben said online that he don't know you. He said online that he don't know you. Okay. Yeah, you want a different kind of reality that you made up. Okay. You talking about you spending time with Ben and Blake. You in the audience with the rest of the folks. Okay. Just like when you was on when you was on where was it? When you was on Watch What Happens Live, and you said you met New Kids on the Block. Then you said I was in the audience, and he shook one of them boys' hand. No, you in the audience with the rest of these folks. Okay, so you don't know Ben, you don't know Blake, you don't know half of these people, but you live a different life than everybody else. Girl,
Shut up, bitch.
okay, girl, you want a different reality. And then John pointed out your real reality. Okay, your real reality. Okay, that's the problem. You don't want to know that you. And so she was like, it's falling on deaf ears. And Mary was like, she don't want to hear it. Yeah, she don't. She don't. You know. She don't. She want to pretend reality when everybody else got to have their own reality. Just like Mary got to have reality that these people saying that her church is a cult and all that other stuff. Yeah, she got her reality. Okay. Meredith don't have a reality. Everybody is in New York. Okay. In Ohio and New York. Everybody else is on the East Coast, so she don't really have a reality, okay? So, Whitney had to show her reality where her company was MLM company, whatever. She had to show her reality. Girl, please shut the fuck up. Anyway, I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. Okay, I had to talk to my job. Okay, I had to talk to my job. Okay, so anyway, Bronwyn. Okay, her montage. Okay, so basically, Bronwyn's dad passed away. Okay, yeah. Apparently, he fell. It wasn't like, he passed away from dementia. He fell in the memory care home, and he couldn't recover. So there must have been a bad fall that he couldn't recover. His body couldn't recover, and so he passed away. Her mom is upset because of her how she was portrayed on the show. And she was just like, so I didn't know that social media had like memes and jokes of her, but Wow. Okay. So, so, Braun was like, that conversation that we had about, when Brahma was pregnant, when she didn't want her child to go to foster care, but she didn't like it. She didn't give her a baby shower. She didn't, she praised her other daughter that was married, and she gave her a baby shower, but Brahma didn't get a baby shower and things like that. She was saying that because she had to portray a good Mormon. Okay, she had to portray a good Mormon on TV. So she said she was not happy about it. But she had to take care of Gwen because she didn't want her to go to foster care. Even though Braun was like, she wasn't going to foster care. I would have worked 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jobs before she went to foster care. So, Muzzy, listen, come here, baby. Yeah, you did. You did look like an asshole, basically. On them first few conversations. Then you got a little better in them last few conversations about how, you was sending pride flags to everybody and all that other stuff. So you did do a better job later on, but them first ones, honey, So you finally got what you actually deserve. I'm just saying, you actually deserve that. Okay, so hopefully you will learn from it, and you will, figure out how you need to change. Okay, so then also her and Todd are separated. She said that was her choice. And she said, when I was talking to Whitney about, the problems that were in our Todd in our relationship, Todd was mad because I talked to Whitney, but then Todd won't talk about it. And so she was like, so then she don't have an outlet. She can't talk to her friends about it. She can't talk to him about it. So who she need to talk to except for God? God ain't gonna give her the answer. She just may need to vent. So she felt isolated, and so she separated from Todd, and so then Todd. Oh boy, Todd first of all, he watched Salt Lake City, the whole 6 seasons of Salt Lake City. He got a Twitter account. He got an IG account. He looked up everything they said about him on Reddit, and he was not happy about any of this. Okay, but just like Muzzy, you have to realize what you have done, okay, to occur this. Okay, you have to see what you did. Okay, you gotta take accountability for what you did. Okay, and all these people's reaction is because of what you did. Okay, so just like Muzzy, you gotta take accountability. Like I've always told my child, I always told my kids, everybody, life is full of decision making. Okay. Okay, you make the right decision, you get rewarded. You make the wrong decision, you get consequences. Okay, that's it. That's all. It's all a learning experiment. It's all a learning choices. You make the right decision, you got rewards. You make the wrong decision, you got consequences. That's it. That's all. Life is that's all that life is. Okay. So what you need to do is see what you made these wrong decisions, and you get all these consequences. People talking about you on social media. Okay, talking about you on social media. So then you have to make the right decision, and you'll get rewarded. You'll get Bronwyn back in. Y'all living together, got a good marriage. For the mama, you get good reviews on social media. You get praise and all that other stuff. You got to make the right decisions, people. You got to make the right decisions. Okay, that's all. That's all. What you can't do is keep making these wrong decisions and getting all these consequences. That's not gonna be good. Okay, you got to learn from that shit. You got to learn from it. Okay, moving on. Moving on. But Whitney got real emotional when they were talking about Brahma's situation. So Whitney started crying and she had to leave the stage. I don't know. She just, she left the stage. She went back there and talked to Justin, and Justin was like, "We're okay, baby. We're okay." It was nice and everything, but I was just like, "Why you get so emotional about Bronwyn?" I don't know. Moving on. Heather, Meredith. So, they asked Meredith about how she told Heather she was a liar, and Meredith said, I said Heather and Whitney was a liar, but I meant Whitney and Brittany was a liar. And so Heather was like, "So I'm not a liar. I'm not a liar." She was like, "Well, I don't." She said some of the things lately are questionable, and so Heather was like, So, Meredith was like, we just need to rebuild trust, on both sides. And then Heather was like, yeah, on both sides. Girl, I don't think Heather and Meredith got that friendship like that. I don't think it's that deep. So, Andy said, why was it a big problem when Meredith answered Brooke's call when they were in Greece? And so Whitney was like, because she was on hot seat. That's the reason why she answered the Brooke's call, because we're not supposed to be on our cell phones. We're supposed to have conversation. And so Bronwyn was like, she said, but when you heard, let's go. So basically, I think what happened was she answered the phone. She was talking to Brooks, and then she hung up the phone. And then I think production said something to her, because she was mad at production more so than anything else. And so that's what Andy was like. Andy was like, Meredith, you were mad at production for something. And I think production said something to her. And so Meredith was like, well, I'm not going to get into that because I don't think anything is going to come of it. And then it got silent. Then Whitney was like, I don't like this. I don't like how you are throwing production under the bus. She said, because if it wasn't for production, we wouldn't be something in Us magazine or something like that. We wouldn't be recognizing us. It's People, Us magazine, something like that. We wouldn't be recognized for that. So it's a conglomerate. Production and us. And so Whitney was like, Meredith is lying. I don't know what she lying about, because they never said what she was mad about with production. Probably because she walked off and then she had to come back walking on that cobblestone. That's probably what it was. But whatever the case may be. So Mary starts to cry. She was just like, she said, because she, production is good people, and she good, she loved production. Brittany was like, I don't like that, you talking about production either. So everybody mad because Meredith, had a problem with production. I don't know. Meredith, I think these are your last days, honey. If you messing with production, honey, you may not be coming back. Okay, I'm just saying. So then they talk about Bronwyn, Mary, and Whitney's lunch. Meredith felt bad because they were talking about her at the lunch. Meredith was like, Bronwyn, you made an accusation about my husband, the pansexual Seth, about him going on a date. Bronwyn was like, I ain't never said that. She said, I ain't know who this person was. And she was like, so I don't know if he was on a date, and I'm not going to make that assumption. I don't know. She could have been a colleague. I don't know. She was like, but if that was Todd, then everybody would have ran with he cheating, he this. And so Meredith was like, I never talked about you and Tom. But Brown was like, yeah, but your bestie did. But your bestie did, okay? Okay. She was like, so you ain't check your bestie. She said, and also she said it wasn't. She said, and it ain't never been a problem with talking about anybody's marriage until Brittany. She said this one over here. But she said Brittany was talking about your marriage. I said, oh, okay then. Stick and move, Bronwyn. Stick and move. Until this one over here was talking about your marriage. That's when it became a problem. It ain't never been a problem with nobody else's marriage, except for when Brittany was talking about your marriage. There it is. There it is. Stick and move, Bronwyn. Stick and move. And so she said, did I ever do anything to contribute what she said about your marriage or anything like that? She said, but you didn't stop it though. You ain't stop it. You ain't tell Lisa, listen, I don't know what's going on, so we shouldn't be talking about this, okay? You ain't stopped none of that, Meredith, okay? She said you never got outraged until it was your marriage. I know that's right, man. I know that is right. It wasn't an outrage until it was your marriage. Okay? You could talk about everybody else's marriage. And they talked about Angie's marriage. They talked about Mary's marriage. They talking about Whitney's marriage. Heather ain't never been married, so it don't matter. And Brittany ain't never been married either. They talk about Bronwyn's marriage. But it wasn't a problem until they talked about your marriage, Meredith. And then you got all beside yourself. And you just couldn't take it. Mm-hmm. So she said, Bronwyn said, I thought we were friends. She said, but I'm not your fucking assistant. You asked me to report back to you all my conversations, and then you threw me up under the bus. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, honey. You threw me up under the bus. She said, and then she said, so you need to sit down. You need to sit the fuck down and have this hard conversation. I said, shit now. Okay then. Damn. Okay. You need to sit the fuck down and have this hard conversation. And Andy was like, well, do you feel used by Meredith? And she said, yes, I do. She said, I told you one thing about Brittany, and all of a sudden Brittany an alcoholic per you and Lisa. Lisa was like, what, that was a joke. Brittany was like, it fucking wasn't funny. She didn't say fucking, but it wasn't funny. And so Brown was like, you do stuff off camera, and so you can deny it later. Basically, you do stuff off camera. So Meredith Because Bronwyn was eating her ass up. Okay, Bronwyn was eating her ass up. So Bronwyn, so she said, I'm not using you. Oh no, Meredith said, I'm sorry if you felt I was using you. That's not a real apology. She was like, but she said, I'm very sorry. Whatever. So Andy asked Angie, why did she have Stella write that Greek tragedy? Angie said, I wanted everybody to see themselves through the eyes of their friends. And so yeah, Andy was like, yeah, that was a Greek tragedy. Oh, and Lisa had a soft spot for Angie. So fucking what? Okay. So fucking what? Lisa was like, let's move forward, she was like, because I don't think Meredith is coming back, so I need an ally. That's what I think. I think she wanted her to move forward because she don't think Meredith is coming back, so she need an ally. She was like, my little Scorpio. I was just like, my little crybaby Sagittarius. Anyway, lesson learned. The final thoughts of what they learned from the season. Mary said it's important to see yourself and put out the energy you want in return. Whitney said failure is God redirecting you. Brittany said patience is a good thing. And patience is a good thing. And good things will come your way. That's what it is. Patience, good things will come your way. Let me get my life. Angie said acceptance. She talking about how she accepted her daughter. Nobody care. Meredith says communication. You just got to find your way to get your point across. Heather said the best moments and the worst moments is with this cast. I don't know how that's a good thing or not. Bronwyn said change could be a good or a bad thing. And Lisa says listening for understanding. Okay. That was it. So that is Salt Lake City. So give me a thumbs up. Like and share and comment and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Peace.